Hey guys, Justin here with JHart Modelworks, and it is time to get something new on the bench. Now, it's been a very long time since I've done a pickup truck. It's been a couple of years. The last one I did was the 44 that I did as part of Charlie Mack's Pearl Harbor group build. One of these years I'm going to get a hold of that Aston Martin DB5, the little 1/32 Airfix kit, and I'm going to do Sean's small scale build. It's not going to be this year. We've got some crazy expenses coming in for house repairs. Don't even want to start on all of that stress. So one of these years though, Sean, one of these years. The other pickup truck that I did was the 41 Chevy that I did with Chris from CD Scale Models as our first ever buddy build. Both of those trucks were a lot of fun. I've taken both of those trucks to shows. Both of them have done fantastic. And I just thought, you know, it's been a long time. Let's go ahead and let's do another pickup truck. So the next build on the bench is going to be Revell Monogram's 37 Ford pickup. This is a 1/25th scale kit, and the other two are 1/24th. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. So let's go ahead and get the camera flipped around and let's see what is inside this box. Alright guys, here we are. Got some nice little box art here. Looks like we got ourselves a little flathead. This may or may not stay in there. I haven't even unsealed the factory packaging on here. Let's go ahead and get this cellophane busted open. Alright. In this box, we have a whole bunch of white sprues. We have 5 old school vinyl plastic tires. We have a chrome sprue. We have some incredibly yellow decals. That's okay, because it does not look like we're going to be using any of these. The only ones we may have wanted to use would have been those right there. And the white portion of those is actually still fairly nicely intact, so we may, depending on how the dash is set up, we may be able to get away with using these still. Of our instructions. We'll get into these here in a second. And we have some clear parts. Alright, let's take a look at these instructions real quick. Typical old school Revell instructions, monogram instructions. Starting with the flathead assembly, then move on to the rear suspension and the front suspension. Got some radiator stuff going on in here. Our fenders. Our interior, cab assembly, bed assembly, pretty straightforward stuff. Then some decals. Let's go ahead and start by looking at the cab. It's not bad at all. Everything looks to be pretty crisply molded. We do have some pretty typical bold body seams here. Gonna want to clean those up. Nothing unusual at all about that. Tiny bit of flash in there, no biggie. All in all, cab looks really nice. Hood is nice and crisply molded as well. You can really get in there and detail that up if you want on the Ford V8 bit there. And we may be able to get in here and open these louvers up. We'll see. This doesn't necessarily mean anything. What really matters is what it looks like once you actually get it on the body, but there doesn't seem to be any crazy gaps here. That should be pretty nice. Alright, so taking a look at this white sprue, we have our bed components. Not bad. That's going to be a little hard to detail paint. We will try to do probably the eraser method, which is tapping the eraser down on those, but that looks like that's going to be tough to paint. We shall see. We may just not paint it at all and just leave it body color. Got some fenders here, those look nice. Sides of the bed, and we have the interior tub, which that makes me a little sad. This tub being all one piece, it's going to be kind of hard to detail up these door cards. It's going to be hard to change out the seat. I was thinking about 3D printing out a seat, but yeah, that's... If I do 3D print out a seat, it won't want to sit in there properly. I guess maybe it depends on how this sits on the chassis. We may be able to cut that seat out and replace it, but it's not looking good. We'll see. Maybe we'll just do like the Indian blanket style treatment for this. We'll do something with it though. Our next sprue, we have that flathead Ford engine. There's a bit of flash on here. This is an old kit, but that's okay. We have our exhaust, which looks like it comes up on this side and then does the U underneath. Now the fact that the U is separate from the block is an awesome thing, which means unlike on the 40 Ford, I won't have to cut and sand and try and clean that up, because chances are very good I'm not going to go with a single exhaust. I will do a custom twin exhaust on it. Those heads, our intake manifold, that all looks pretty good. This is the surround for the grill. Radiator. Now there is a little tray for the battery. That is nice. A firewall. Gas tank. Looks like we got some sink marks in there and some damage. That's okay. We can fill that with no problem. Probably file off the drain plug and replace that with a bolt from ProTech. We can do some really nice stuff with this. We have our frame. That's all nice and clean. Looks like there's already some notches for the exhaust on both sides. If so, and if nothing blocks that, that will be nice, because that will help us with doing our custom twin exhaust Very cool. We have our chassis. The wood bed's got texture to it. This is awesome because when we go and do our paint on this, this is going to look really good. We have our dashboard. And yeah, we are going to be able to basically take those gauges and just drop them on probably to a small thin piece of acetate and just drop them into the back, and that will look fantastic. Our last white sprue, we've got nice old-fashioned steering wheel. We've got some suspension components, rear axle, our front axle, the backs of our wheels. It looks like we've got some steelies. These are the fronts, so these will be the steelies. Those aren't bad. I kind of like the steely look on these old wheels. I may do something different. I may throw on like some Halibrands or something. Maybe some old school like muscle car Mustang wheels. I don't know. We'll see what happens with the wheels. We have our chrome sprue. That is ridiculously shiny. We will end up stripping all of that down and redoing the chrome. Probably going to do some of this duraluminum tough. This is a great chrome. But all in all, most of that looks good. There's only one mirror on this truck, which you guys know I kind of need mirror symmetry, so I will probably end up doing something different. Headlight buckets, those are nice. Are those horns? I think those are horns. They may be horns. I don't know. We'll see what these... Oh no, those are hubcaps. Those are the old Ford V8 hubcaps. That's what those are. Alright, that's cool. Tiny old school windshield wipers. Carburetors. Yeah. Oh, we got door handles and window cranks. Now, chances are really good that I will probably use my own 3D printed window cranks just because I can, and I like the way they mount a little better because I can drill them and glue them from the inside. Looks like we got some door handles for the inside and door handles for the outside. Bumper's nice. We got some bolt detail on there. Not in love with the grill, but there's not much we can do about it. We'll probably, like I said, we're going to re-chrome it, but we'll probably do like a wash in there to kind of blacken in the little slats in between. That'll help. And we have a little red clear sprue for some taillights, which indicates to me that there's going to be two, which is always a plus. I remember the 41 Chevy only had one, and I ended up scratch building some taillights just because I didn't like having only one taillight. Kind of like I don't like having only one mirror. Tires. Old school. Black vinyl. Now there is some branding on these. Are Goodyears. That's nice. Definitely a seam in here. So we're going to want to sand these down to get rid of that seam out of the center. A lot of flash on here as well. Easy to take care of, but this is a good indicator that it's an old mold. So this is probably not an original boxing. This is probably a reboxing, but still, definitely nothing we can't address. Last but not least, we have the clear sprue. It's not terrible. There's not a lot of distortion in the actual window portion. There's no scratches that I can see, at least not a lot. Definitely in good condition for the age of this kit. There's a little bit of scratching on here, but that's the rear. We can definitely polish that out. Sand and polish it if we have to. We'll probably get away with just a little bit of polishing though, and take care of that. Check out Time Machine Scale Models. Rob over there would appreciate you giving them a check out. Might as well give them a shout out while we got the old card out here. And that's going to be a wrap for this unboxing. Probably going to be a good deal of mock-up going on before we do anything with the body. I want to take a look at a couple of things, especially with the way the exhaust is laid out, and kind of see how I want to work on that. I've done custom exhaust once. That's right, I did it on the 40 Ford, where I did the split exhaust, just like I plan on doing here, where I did the two exhaust pipes. But I definitely want to look at the exhaust. I'm also kind of looking at taking out the flathead. I don't know if this is going to work or not, so do not take this as a promise that this is going to happen. But what we have here is a Ford 302 with Weber carbs and velocity stack intakes. These are my custom Ford Racing small block valve covers. And this is all just kind of glued together as just a fast, quick test print. But this is going to let me, once I get the chassis and the body and everything set into place, this is going to kind of let me know how, if this is going to fit, how it'll sit, how I may need to work on some motor mounts, things like that. If I decide that I can do this, this is what I would like to do. Now I do have two different exhausts on here. I have this style, which I think will probably be the easier style to fit, but this style, I have these as well, and depending on how the exhaust sits and how the engine sits and if it even fits at all, this might be a cool option. So again, that's going to be it for the video. Thanks for hanging out and taking a look at see what's inside the box with me. I'm going to start doing some test fitting, and I will catch you guys on the next one.